If you guys want coins for FC24, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code REMA, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. What's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video guys, we have the updated 4-3-2-1 custom tactics and player instructions for FC24. By far the most popular formation in this game, and for good reason. Just fits the meta of the game better than any other formation. Pretty much every top player rocks this because, you know, you just get the best movement. It's the only formation which has the correct AI, and you can just abuse the meta with it essentially. So yeah, we're going to be running through the tactics and the instructions and then getting into a game with this team. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Please be sure to drop this a thumbs up, so it does really help me out with the algorithm. Sub to the channel if you are new, and also don't forget to turn on those notifications, guys. And yeah, let's get right into the video. Alright then guys, so I'm not going to spend a long time discussing the tactics and instructions, because to be honest with you guys, they're very similar to what I normally rock, because again, this game doesn't change, you know. It's very linear, and it's, you know, very one-dimensional, you know. You have to use balance, direct passing, that kind of thing. It's just how it is. So I'm going to quickly run through it now, go to the instructions, and then get into a game. So for the defensive style, guys, as always, a lot of you will know by now, I always use balanced. Gives you the best control when you are defending. So when you want to like pressure your opponent, you can do that, and then when you want to maybe be a bit more passive and maybe drop off, you can also do that. So I do recommend balance, guys. For the defensive width, I always recommend the numbers 40 to 50, so that's the range I'd go with. I go bang in the middle with 45. The reason we do this is because it gives us a nice, narrow and compact defense so that we can block out all those attacks through the middle of the pitch. However, it's important not to go lower than this, because we still need to have enough width to cover the wider areas in case an opponent goes down the wing. So the goal is to be narrow in your defense, but not too narrow at the same time. Now for the depth, guys, there are a few different options that people like to use, one of them being the 71 depth thing. So this is where you get that automatic press from the AI. The AI will pretty much mark every player on the team, congest the middle area, and make it an absolute nightmare for your opponent to play through. If you're like quite bad at defending, you'd say, and it's not necessarily terrible to be like that, but if you're not the greatest at defending or you need a bit more assistance, 71 depth is great because it pretty much does everything for you. If you're like me and you're a bit more experienced in your defense and you want to have a bit more control, maybe be a bit more manual, but you still want that higher defensive line, you can use something like 60 or 65. I really do like this. If this is still too high for you guys, you can lower it even more, and that is absolutely fine. Now for the build-up play, guys, I highly recommend balance because I think it is the best for pretty much every type of build-up. I think it's the most consistent, and I think it's the most reliable. I think all these separate settings, maybe except long ball, are pretty terrible, but like slow build-up, fast build-up is really bad. Your AI just doesn't move correctly, and it makes it very difficult to actually build up. So I always recommend balance, guys. For the chance creation, direct passing is an absolute must. It's the only way to consistently break through those park the bus defenses. When you use direct passing, guys, your attacking players often make runs, so it's like a push forward track back manner. So your attackers will make these runs, defenders will follow the attacker that is making the run, and then once that defender's overcommitted to the run, your attacker will then track back. So then there's like a lot of space between that defender and the attacker, so you can either pass across or just cut back to them. So that's the way it works. It's very boring, but very effective nonetheless. Now for the width, guys, you can pretty much use whatever you want. All you really need to know with the width is the lower the width, the more narrow. The higher the width, the wider your attack is. So just pick something that you prefer. I don't advise going too far extreme either way. I think, you know, like 40 to 60 is probably a sweet spot. But yeah, I'm just going with 46 at the moment. Now for the players in the box, guys, I popped this on 7 so we can get quite a few players into that penalty area, but we don't want to overcommit absolutely everybody, so we just leave it on 7. So we're pretty good for players in the box, but we're not always going to get counter-attacked. For the corners and the free kicks, guys, I just have these both on 2, but you can do whatever you want with that. Now, moving on to the player instructions, guys, pretty basic again, but the striker, stay central, getting behind. Don't really want this player drifting out wide. You have the wide forwards, so you don't really need these players out there. You also have fullbacks that can overlap, so keep this player in the middle so that they can be relied upon. Also have them on getting behind, so you can force the runs out of the player. If they're on mixed attack, they can be very static, not really offer you anything. Sorry, choked on my words there. So getting behind is very important to ensure that your player is always doing the most possible. For the left forward, guys, we have them on the same. We have them on stay central and get in behind, pretty much for the same reasons as the striker. Stay central is very good on this like left forward because I think it keeps them in those more narrow channels to make it feel more like a 4-3-2-1 as opposed to like a 4-3-3. For the right forward, guys, we have them on getting behind and come back on defense. Getting behind is for the same reason as the other two players, but we also have them on come back on defense as it will make it defend in a 4-man midfield, so it will actually defend in a 4-4-2. The reason we do this is because the 4-4-2 is a very good defensive shape. It's got great coverage of the wider areas with the wide midfielders, so the left mid and the right mid, and also good coverage of those central areas with those two centre mids. So it makes it very hard to break down. So when you put this player on the come back on defense instruction, it'll make them defend as a right mid in the 4-4-2 shape. Now for the right centre mid, guys, we use like a box-to-box style centre mid. So on this player, we leave them on the default settings and then pop them on cover centre. Default settings so that they can do a bit of everything. Like I said, box-to-box, you don't want them to just defend, you want them to do a bit of everything. And then cover centre so that they will defend as one of those two centre mids in that 4-4-2 shape. Now for this middle centre mid, guys, we use a more defensive minded player, somebody that's going to stay back and break up the play for us. So on this player, we pop them on stay back and cover centre. Stay back, obviously we don't want them flying forward, and then cover centre so it will make them defend as another centre mid in that 4-4-2 shape. Now, moving on to this left centre mid, guys, because I said it defends in a 4-4-2, you don't actually have to use, you know, like a mega defensive player, and you don't have to worry about keeping them back all the time, because they'll be more like a left mid when we don't have the ball. So you don't actually have to use like a super defensive player if you don't want. So on this player, we pop them on cover wing so that it will defend as a left mid in that 4-4-2 shape. And then we also have them on get forward and get into the box for cross, so they're used as like another attacker. Gives us that extra player forward, and it is very, very useful. I suggest using a player that has very decent attacking stats, otherwise you might struggle a little bit, and it's an added bonus if you can get somebody that can defend as well. Now for the fullbacks, guys, whichever one is your most attacking one, doesn't matter which one, honestly, pop them on balanced attack and overlap. This is to give you that extra width because the 4-3-2-1 is quite an narrow formation going forward, so having this fullback overlapping gives you that wider option and stretches out your opponent's defense, so I do highly recommend that. Now for the other fullback, guys, the more defensive one, we have them on stay back and overlap, so we always have at least 3 defenders back at a time, but when we send them on that run forward, they'll make that overlapping run to give us that extra width. For the 2 centre backs, we leave them alone, and then the keeper, we also leave them alone. So yeah, they are the tactics and instructions. Let's go get into a game. There we go, there's one. Easy enough. Smith is an absolute demon in this game, by the way. Nice one, Rice. Just try and thread that ball through. Ah, couldn't quite get it. That was close. Probably should have done something else, but oh well. Oh, Smith is so good, man. The way she adapts to any type of chance is crazy, bro. Oh my gosh. He absolutely lashed that. What the heck? Wow. And he's quit. Alright guys, I'm going to call it there for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did or found it useful, please be sure to drop it a thumbs up. It does really help me out. Also sub to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos, and also don't forget to turn on those notifications so you are actually notified when a video is posted. And yeah, with all that aside guys, hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace out guys, take care.